How's everyone doing today? This is Adam with Commander on a Budget. Today we'll be getting to another episode of Budget Brews. Today we'll be going over Shaile, Dean of Radiance, and Embross, Dean of Shadows. We're going to try and make a +1/+1 counter aristocrats deck in Orzhov colors. Let's hop on into it. So, while trying to find cards for this deck, I found a really interesting theme within these colors. And it's pretty much whenever a creature or like something leaves the battlefield, dies, it gets a +1 counter on it. So you run cards like Bloodcrazed Paladin, Unruly Mob, Rising Populace, Osric's Outrider, Guardian Kieran, along with Necrosynthesis, all kind of have the similar effect where they get benefits whenever a creature dies and they put a counter on it. Along with Necrosynthesis, it also doubles as a way for you to get card draw, which is always fun and it's very on theme. Some other really fun cards that I want to mention in here, especially if you want to go for more of the Aristocrats package, is cards like Carrion Feeder, where you can sacrifice and put +1/+1 counter on it. Same kind of mindset for Bloodflow Connoisseur, Defiant Salvager, which you can also sacrifice artifacts for. Probably the best kind of card that you want to run if you want to run more cards like this in your deck is Fane the Broker. This card's pretty much a trading post for this deck, and I think that's absolutely insane. A really interesting thing I found out while trying to look for cards for this deck is that there's actually a lot of really interesting effects that support +1/+1 counters in these colors. So Elite Scaleguard, which we've gone over here on the channel, is an absolutely fantastic card. Hopeful Initiate is an absolutely fantastic way to remove artifacts and enchantments, and it's on theme. Necropolis Region is absolutely fantastic, especially when you go wide with your deck, pretty much putting counters onto everything. It'll help you proc your Embross triggers a lot more. It's a really great card. You can run Nightshade Harvester as kind of a way to, like, technically stacks, but it's not really preventing anybody from playing the game. Tenured Incaster is a really interesting card for this deck, and it doubles as a win condition depending on how, pretty much how wide you go with your strategy. Venerated Loxodon is also absolutely a fantastic way to put +1/+1 counters on things. Plus, it has Convoke, so it can come out for 1 white mana. It's kind of crazy for this deck. Tawashi Gaibai, which we just got out of Neon Dynasty, is a fantastic draw engine for this deck. Sparring Regimen is an absolutely fantastic way for you to pretty much give your creatures pseudo-vigilance whenever they attack, as long as they have a counter on it. And definitely for this section, I definitely could not have not mentioned Sigarda Summons. This card's absolutely fantastic. It pretty much makes all your stuff flying threats in the air. It's real good. A few last points I want to go over before I wrap up fully. You can run cards like Nykthos Paragon if you want to run a little bit of a life gain synergy. With that being said, Ordeal of Helios is an absolutely fantastic way to trigger that. The last card I'm going to go over for this part of the strategy is Cleric of Life's Bond. It's real great if you want to run the life gain part in this deck. Some real heavy hitters you can run in this deck are just cards like Drake Town Forgotten, Custody Soulbinders, High Sentinels of Erishan, and Newsgraph Mob. You can also run cards like Ephemerate and Eerie Interlude for Flicker in the deck. Have a good one.